Hello, and thank you once again for making AfriCast your preferred podcast. My name is Tapiwa, and today I'm in conversation with two Zimbabwean renowned economists, Mr. Eddie Cross and Dr. Tapiwa Mashakada. So today we are going to be reflecting on the issue of the Zimbabwean economy, particularly the issue of the new Zimbabwean $50 notes that were introduced on Tuesday by the Reserve Bank Governor of Zimbabwe, Dr. John Mangunja, and they came into circulation on Wednesday. So I realized there's been a lot of skepticism on social media. Some Zimbabweans they are feeling a bit skeptical about the $50 notes. You know, they think that what happened in 2008 when there was a huge economic meltdown is going to also happen this year as a result of the induction of the $50 notes, because during that time of 2008 things were very, very bad. There was hyperinflation, there was artificial scarcity, there was low disposable income, things were just bad. So yeah, they think that maybe this was a bad move, but we are just going to hear from these two renowned economists whether the move taken by Dr. Mangunja was the right move, or it was a way of perhaps going through the back door to introduce quantitative easing, you know, by printing more money, which in turn causes hyperinflation and reverse back to that era of the 2008 economic meltdown. But yeah, let's hear what they have to say, what their take, and whether or not this is a method of quantitative easing.
This is part of a well-established program to introduce the new domestic currency to Zimbabwe, which began about 2 years ago. And the effort is just to simply make bigger denominations available. About whether or not this is another method of easing in terms of making additional supplies of currency available, the answer to that is no. All of those new notes will be purchased by the banks using RTGS balances that they already hold, so that it makes no difference to the money supply situation. Money supply continues to be managed very tightly, and this will continue until we get inflationary pressures under control. And I would expect that will last well beyond the end of this year.
Okay, it really makes sense what you're saying, and perhaps it will get rid of all the skepticism that is going on pertaining to the issue of quantitative easing. But let me just bring in Dr. Mashakada. What are your thoughts of the induction of the $50 note and the issue of quantitative easing?
I think the introduction of the $50 note is just meant to bring convenience to the transacting public, seeing that the lower denominations may not have been convenient in view of bulky purchases, but really it's just a matter of bringing convenience to the public. You know, instead of holding too many notes, you just hold few $50 notes. And also during this COVID period, it's a good move to try to reduce the quantities of paper money that is circulating and changing hands. So basically, this is just done as a matter of convenience for the banking and transacting public. Nothing to do with quantitative easing, because money supply growth has been under check, and it's not out of control. Inflation is targeted, and it's kept under check. So this is just basically to convenience the public. in terms of avoiding to carry bulky notes around. So that's the convenience of the $50 note. I wish they had actually introduced the $100 note as well, just to make sure that the public is really not inconvenienced.
Okay. And coming back to you, Mr. Cross, what are your thoughts about the issue of the auctioning system that has been going on, that was introduced by the Minister of Finance, Professor Mthuli Ncube, in stabilizing the Zimbabwean dollar. And for some that might not understand what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the auctioning system, it's a method that was introduced by the Minister of Finance. I think it was last year, or is it 2019, or I can't remember, but yeah, it's been going on for a while now. So what the minister did was introduce this auctioning system where they put a peg or when it comes to the manner in which the local currency is supposed to fare to the foreign currencies, especially to the US dollar. So they can say, for instance, that the Zimbabwean dollar now is pegged at one US dollar, it gives you 85 Zimbabwean dollars. So they can say that the auctioning system for this period is going to be bid start at $85, and then they are supposed to reach a maximum of maybe 100 or 150. So people, they make bids and they say, you know what, 85, some will say 85, 87, 88, and it's not only people, it's a number of entities that are involved also. So they come and then they make their bid and they say, no, let's put it at 85, some will say 87. So the majority says 87 or 88 or 89, then that's how it goes. So that's how they've been managing to stabilize the Zimbabwean dollar when it comes to the other foreign currencies, especially the US dollar. So coming back to you, Mr. Cross, what are your thoughts of the issue of the auctioning system? Is it working?
When the president agreed to the adoption of the auction as a means of establishing a market price for the dollar, none of us really expected the dramatic impact it would have. And I think this was rather silly of us, because we should have anticipated that any adoption of market principles in an economy like Zimbabwe would in fact have significant application and impact. And that is exactly what happened. The currency has been stabilized at around about 85 to 1. And today, about 1,000 companies a week make application, and the total value of the sum of the bids allocated is around about $40 million. That's up significantly from when we started, when the number of applications were about 300, and the value was about 15 million. Of particular importance is the applications under 20,000. Average value about 15,000. And these are not only being settled quickly, but are also contributing to the growth in the number of new emerging companies, where the real growth of the economy is taking place. In the bigger applications, we have a problem with the availability of cash, and we are trying quite hard to catch up with the arrears. This affects the bigger players and has had a deleterious effect on confidence in the market.
Well, if it is working, then kudos to the minister then, because even me, I was a bit skeptical when I first heard of the auctioning system, and I don't want to lie, I was even a bit pessimistic of the whole notion. I just thought it was going to be disastrous, but it has really proved me wrong. Like you have alluded, that the Zim dollar is steady. So there's good news for the economy, and hopefully better days are going to come. But let me just bring back Dr. Mashakada. What are your thoughts of the auctioning system?
Coming to the question of the auction system, yes, it has stabilized the exchange rate, and in turn that has stabilized prices. All speculative exchanges of forex on the parallel market has been contained, and those who need forex can apply on the official market, which is the auction market. So yeah, the auction system has played the trick. It has stabilized the macroeconomic environment. However, the Reserve Bank must still look into the issue of those players who cannot access foreign currency, even at the bigger auction system and the small to medium enterprise auction system. There are others who are excluded. So the auction system must be inclusive so as to cater for everybody.
Wow, you guys are really painting a positive picture for the Zimbabwean economy. I think it would mean a lot to a lot of Zimbabweans, and even the outside world, because the country has been marred by a lot of negativity, and at times you see what you read or what you see on TV or social media, it might not be necessarily true, especially if those people that are making the analysis are not exactly in the country and they've never been part of the government or the decision makers, of how the economy is supposed to move. So I'm glad that you guys are on board here and are able to give us a clear analysis of what is happening. So coming back to you, Mr. Cross, what's your general analysis of the well-being of the economy since the induction of the Zim dollars in 2019?
I don't think I need to emphasize the fact that it's my personal view that our economy is likely to grow at double-digit figures this year. I've been saying that for some months, and I believe it's true. All you've got to do is look around you. We have a very substantial increase in the volume of agricultural production. Mineral exports are growing strongly at about 20%. And on top of that, we have the informal sector generating a building boom, which is very, very substantial. And I think that if you take all these factors together, there's no doubt in my mind that the economy is growing strongly. And I can only see problems arising in the near future if we are unable to get on top of our electricity shortages and also expand the ability of our productive sector to meet demand. I am concerned about demand running away from us, as this, I think, would result in more inflationary pressures. And I think our main enemy in the next few months is going to be to fight inflation, but at the same time to build productive capacity in every sphere of our economy.
Wow, so I guess what you're simply saying is just that if the government manages to stabilize the economy and increase local production, then the country is set for greater heights, even perhaps reaching those economic levels where it was like 3 decades ago, when it was like one of the major economic hubs of Africa. So yeah, that's a really positive picture for the country and Zimbabweans at large, and even the continent. So yeah, that's I hope that everything that you have said, will come to pass, as you have said it like that, because it has been a trying period for a lot of Zimbabweans. But let me end with you, Dr. Mashakada. What are your perceptions, your view of the economic well-being of the country since the induction of the Zim dollars?
I've already said the economy is stable, and the stability has been anchored on the exchange rate and also price stability. What's remaining is now to motivate production, so that we can export more and grow the economy. What we need is a growing economy with social inclusion. That is the challenge that we are facing. We don't have a growing economy, and yet there are a lot of social inequalities. So there's need for social protection to take place here, so that all those marginalized groups are also taken care of.
Well, that's a wrap of today's segment of AfriCast. Remember, if you want more segments like this, you can simply send us an email at africast54@gmail.com. That's AFRICAST54@gmail.com. Alternatively, you can use our WhatsApp number. Just send subscribe to +27671255463. Or if you have any other queries, please feel free to use our WhatsApp number and our email address to air up your grievances. Thank you so much.